Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 21st, 2024 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. It gets this channel seen by the YouTube algorithm, which gets it seen by more people. So thank you so very much for doing so. So let's see what the cards have to say. And as always, the cards will tell you what you need to know, not what you want to know. Let's begin. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Okay. So we are crowned here, by the Ace of Cups. So this is a gift for you, most specifically, Scorpio, because you are represented by the cups in the minor arcana, and the Ace of Cups is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you a gift. And this is a gift of healing, beautiful love. This is a gift of the connection with the heart, but this is also a gift of emotion, meaning that during this moon and during this time, your emotions are going to be heightened. Now, the 21st of June is also the first day of Cancer time period. Emotions are heightened anyway. Also, Gemini feels a lot too, but expresses it differently. You're now going into a water sign energy. As a water sign energy with heightened emotions, you're also coming out of the first day of summer, depending on where you are in the world, or the first day of winter if you are in the southern hemisphere. And so this is going to be a time with the Ace of Cups where emotions are really intense and it can feel a little bit uncomfortable to feel. And then we have the Lover's energy coming forward. You can be falling in love. I mean, this is a time here, Scorpio, where you have to listen to your heart, your intuition, yourself, because there's going to be just such emotional power guiding you forward. The Lovers is Gemini energy. Time frame, May 21st to June 20th. It ends, Gemini time period ends on the first day of summer of 2024 or the first day of winter. And this is going to be a time where we're seeing our love, our passion, what we desire, where we want to be. That's what the whole Gemini time period is about. And it's also about, like, what don't I want? What don't I love? Where don't I want to be anymore? And so with this full moon, we're seeing a culmination of Gemini energy coming forward and that shift into Cancer energy, which says, okay, how am I taking control of my emotions? How am I leading me forward to where I want to be? Coupled with the change of the seasons, right? And coupled with this moon, this full moon in Capricorn, which is all about being logical and practical. And what we're going to see here as well is about being honest about our personal boundaries and how they have helped us and how they have held us back. And so here during this time, it's saying, what do you love? What do you want? Where do you want to be? What's the duality of you, Scorpio? Because everybody has a duality. And Scorpio, you most definitely have a duality. You're one of the misunderstood signs or the complex signs. So people think, oh, I know Scorpio, but you always have something, held back a little bit. It's not in a bad way, and I don't want you to take it as such. But a Scorpio is always assessing things, and you're always connected with the spiritual world. So when the heart comes forward, it's like, how can I trust my intuition to, totally embrace the world of love and compassion and understanding, which is the world of the spiritual. And that will open up my world to me. And with the Three of Swords reversed, we are going to be seeing here that we are so tired. We are so tired of the heartbreaks and the pains and the disappointments. We have been marred in our lives by loves, and it doesn't just have to be romantic loves, but love that we thought would manifest itself in one way, and it wound up wounding us. It's kind of like that sentiment of, I've tried so hard to be everything that was needed, and it hurt me. But what we forgot somewhere along the way is what we need. And that is an important thing. And that's actually what this moon is going to be kind of settling us into and having us understand. It moves us then to the Page of Swords reverse. And this is a time where we don't want to be a student. And we have been fighting student energy, especially in Gemini time period. Again, because we're at that shift right now. This is still a Scorpio reading. We are going to see that there's an intensity to us, a different way of looking at things. We don't want to be a student. And yet, to step back and kind of step out of the ego, step out of the expectations that we have for ourselves and the world has for us, and say, okay, how do I learn? How do I understand? How do I break down the barriers? How do I open up my doors to what I need and where I need to be? That is going to be really important. Is it going to come naturally to us during this time and with this moon? No, it's not. But it is something here where we step back and say, I have to be a beginner. And that is something that we have been learning all throughout the Gemini time period. And it'll come to a crescendo during this full moon in Capricorn, and it has us looking at things so differently. And this full moon in Capricorn, this June full moon, is called the strawberry moon. It is a sweet moon. It is a beautiful moon, and it's going to show us that there is power in learning. There is power in a greater understanding. There is also a power here with connecting with our inner child and saying, you know what? It's okay if I wasn't always the best student. It's okay if I didn't get the top marks. It's okay that learning might have been difficult, but I am now empowered in a way that sets me apart from everyone because I know how to be at the beginning. Like, I know how to start, and I know how to be stubborn enough to see it through. With the 9 of Wands reverse, we're really tired of everybody having an opinion, telling us what they want, telling us how they want us to be, telling us where they want us to be, and we're kind of done with it. So we might be a little bit abrupt during this time. Just be aware of it. And we can hear like, oh, Scorpio, why are you being rude? It's like, you're not being rude. Well, a little bit, but it's like, I'm just done. And it's not going to be like this. I'm moving forward this way, or I'm seeing it this way, and that's where I'm going. Now, the world is reversed here, which means that it's not about the outside world. It's not about, how I connect with these people and how I move forward this way and traveling and thising and thating, though that might be part of our world right now. It is about us. It is about, what do I want for my world? And how do I stand in my world seeing me? And it brings us then to the sun. It brings us to joy, to happiness. This is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. Leo is also ruled by the sun. So if we're born on the cusp with Leo, or we have Leo energy in our chart, that comes through very powerfully here. And there's a sense here of joy, of seeing our love and having been through such a story, such an intensity, such a greater understanding of what we want, where we want to be, how we're moving ourselves forward, what we're looking for in ourselves, what we desire from us, what our expectations are, that now we're like, oh, I'm starting to see me. Oh, I'm starting to get it. And it has been through a lot of times of frustration that now we're saying, oh, it was simpler than I thought. Harder than I realized, but simpler than I thought. Now let's see what Spirit has to say. If you're interested in entering to receive a free reading, put a rose in the comment box below. A person will be chosen at random and announced at random. So hit the bell notification so that you are told are told by YouTube when that announcement comes up. So let's see here. Oh, and if you would like to purchase a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or a healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. This is celestial. The movement of the stars, the movement of the moon, the movement of the planets, Scorpio, has a much greater effect on you than you know. It's part of who you are too. You're deeply linked to the celestial. And we don't usually understand it because nobody says these things. But when we have solar flares, when even strong weather patterns, that affects us. And just knowing that and saying, okay, you know what? I'm a more sensitive person, attuned to the movement of this world, and that I accept within me. That's a very big thing to say, and that's a very big thing to understand about ourselves. It moves us then to our chakra energy. And what's funny here? I was just thinking, I just heard somebody think, oh, that's so silly. And yet I remember being in a hospital, like I had broken my foot or something, some such nonsense, right? And I had to get an x-ray or whatever. And I was listening to the tech people talk, and they're like, oh, but it's a full moon. It's a full moon. This place has been crazy. And oh no, I worked the shift on the next full moon. And they're sitting there unknowingly, like, charting out the movement of the moon and saying how it impacts their life. So if they can say that, well, you're laying in the hospital, right? Then there's a truth to it. There's something to it. Let's see here. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. So here we have universal light reversed. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. And here with universal light, there's a sense of universal healing. There's a sense of universal connection. And we're feeling a little bit disjointed. We might not know why. We, can be questioning a lot of things, but knowing that we have a blockage in our soul star chakra, in that connection to the universal energy, is just going to be very important to us. It's going to have us seeing things very differently than we have seen things before, and seeing ourselves and gaining an understanding. And once we look at that blockage and we say, I set myself free, we're going to see the doors opening. And it moves us then to our energy to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. This is the Ace of Wands. This is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But this is a gift of fire and passion. And this can just be revved up too much, okay? There is a sense here, Scorpio, where the intensity is coming forward. We can see something as a gift. Oh, if I just push hard enough, if I just, but it becomes all consuming. And then all we're left with is ashes. It's like all we're left with is like an exhaustion that is bone weary at best. So just being aware of this is going to be a super important thing, because there's something here. And if we're born on the cusp with Sagittarius and we have this, in our chart, what we're going to see here. Did I say here if we're born on the cusp with Leo? That would be impossible. But if we have, Leo in our chart here with the sun, just being aware of that, Scorpio. So here with the Ace of Wands, there's just this fire, this passion that can come and just become all consuming. So being aware of this is going to be just super important during this time. Embracing our emotions, not poo-pooing ourselves with the way that we feel, or, what we're going through, or tell ourselves, stiff upper lip type of thing. And there's nothing wrong with saying stiff upper lip. We don't want our emotions to take over our whole entire life. But what we need to do is not have it cripple us or have it overwhelm us. And that is going to be a very important balance that we're coming to during this time. Know that this is like turning up the pot. I always think of stirring chicken soup and having all the veggies and everything come to the surface that weren't there, that you didn't see before, right? And so this turns up our emotions. It doesn't have to be bad, but sometimes it's like, man, I buried that down for a reason. I didn't want it to come up, especially not right now. So looking at that with the Ace of Cups is going to be so important for us. And there's going to be such a power to us through our emotions, Scorpio, that during this time, during this full moon in Capricorn, it's going to have us see things differently. And with the strawberry moon, it's bringing a level of sweetness, the emotion, the feeling that is opening up the door. With the Lovers coming forward, it's falling in love. Now, for some of us, it literally means falling in love. We can be falling in love after a lot of trials, after a lot of tribulations. And this moon starts a shift, even in our consciousness. It's like somewhere in our head, it's like, oh, it's time to meet somebody. Or, oh, I'm going to be moving forward, like this or like that. And it's going to be a bit of a surprise that like this thought even comes in, but it's like, oh, that makes sense. And then you just keep on moving forward. So with the Lovers, there's some sort of love connection here moving us forward, whether it be we're falling in love with our lives, or we're falling in love with ourselves, or we're falling in love with somebody, or, we're seeing something that is moved forward simply through love because you love it. It is guiding you. And with the Three of Swords, you've been through your heartbreak, Scorpio. You've been through your pain, your disappointment, your anger, your upset. You are releasing it. And there's this sense of like, you're not defining me anymore. And there's this hard release. It's like, no. And it's a repellent of this anger, this fear, this heartbreak and pain. Now, you could have been dealing with a very immature air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So just be mindful about that. It could be also somebody who liked to play head games because, kind of like very childish little head games. So just being aware of that as well. With the Page of Swords, there is also, again, the sense of I need to allow myself to be a student of my mind, to be a student, to learn, to understand. And it's like all of a sudden something will like click in our heads. And it's like, oh, I know this. And then it's like, oh, well, if I know this, and then it's like, I can do XYZ. Like I can all of a sudden start the doors opening, start the ball rolling. And even though we were unwilling students, or we were put in a situation where we're learning, and it's like, my gosh, everybody else gets it. And it's like, yeah, because everybody else has been doing it for how long? And you're new and you're learning and you're, it's like learning something physical. It's like, martial arts or something like that, where you're in a class and everybody else has been doing this forever. It's like a dance that everybody knows, and you're stumbling, not able to do the moves or bend your body the way that others do because you're starting. And so here, let yourself be the beginner. Let your body learn the movements. Let your soul learn the dance. It's going to just be so important here. And stop caring what everybody else thinks. Stop judging yourself off of what you think how others are judging you, judging yourself off of how you think others are judging you. Because here, it's like, no, even if you do know they're judging you this way, it's like, no, I'm done with this. You're not living my life. You're not, moving me forward in any way, shape, or form. I'm not listening to you. It is about me focusing in on my world, myself, my desires, and where I need to be for me. It's not about the outside world anymore, or just for this moment, right? It will be about the outside world again. But right now, it is about my connection with myself, seeing myself, understanding myself, and opening up the door, because now I let in the blessings. And, Capricorn energy is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is practical, it is pragmatic, it is like I always think of it as the forensic accountant, the one who goes through all the books and just like looks at things and sees, oh, this is a description and this and that, and just like things that most people would find boring or overwhelming, that it makes sense. And so there's going to be this level of knowledge and knowing, this level of I can see the details of things and I'm not overwhelmed by the details of things, that pushes you forward during this time. And use that to your advantage, Scorpio, and use that in conjunction with your heart, with your passion, with what you love, because it's going to open up the door to you in a way that you hadn't realized it could or it would. It moves us then to our subconscious spirit message, which is fairy tale reverse. We've kind of lost track of our fairy tales, of the stories that we fell in love with when we were small, or that, that gave us joy. And now it's time to reconnect with the fairy tales. But we think it's a little bit silly. It's like, oh, that's for kids. It's like, no, it's time to connect with the stories. And it's, the classics, the fairy tales, the beautiful complexity of things. Our subconscious chakra message is balance reversed. This is the root chakra. So falling into balance with ourselves and knowing that we have a blockage in our root chakra, which we can help by tapping on our tailbone, just as we can help the blockage with our soul star chakra by tapping and running our fingers through our hair, all for multiples of 9, the tapping of the tailbone, the tapping on the top of the head, the running the fingers through your hair, run your fingers through your hair, then tap the top of your head for blockages with the soul star chakra. So just be aware of that. But we want things to be in balance, and there's just a sense of certain things being out of balance during this time, certain chaoses, certain intensities. So again, being aware of that is going to be super important to us. It moves us then to our energy to be mindful of, and it's the Fool. It's like, it's just jumping off and being a bit foolish about things. It's like, I'm not going to think things through because I'm overthinking, I'm overanalyzing, so I'm just going to jump. And it's like, whoa, wait, whoa, wait. Just be mindful about this. And it could be somebody else really egging us on and be like, come on, Scorpio, you can do this. Why aren't you going for it? Why are you hesitating? It's like, think it through for a moment. It's not that you don't have to go after what you want. Do, most definitely. But be a little bit more cautious. Okay, right here, because there's going to be something that comes to light during the time of this moon that is like, oh my gosh, I need to do it right now. And it's like, think of it for a moment, take a beat, take a breath, just be aware of that. And it moves us then to our subconscious tarot message. And this is the Hermit. This is Virgo energy, time frame August 23rd to September 22nd. And here it is turning inward. That's why the world is reversed. When the world is reversed, the Hermit comes out, and that makes perfect sense. And it is a connection with us, what we deeply desire. It is a quiet, it is a steadying. The repeat of the number 9 comes forward. 9 is a very human number. We have it in the upright position and we have it in the reverse position. We can be having difficulty being human, flaws and heartbreaks and pains and disappointments and, even the big things, the big joys. It can be intense for us, and we can sit there and just be having a hard time with this, this ride called, life, being human, being connected. So just being aware of that is going to be super important, and letting ourselves be human, meaning that we're going to fall, we're going to fail, we're going to make mistakes, we're going to have big wins, but life isn't only the big wins. And I know that's what everybody wants. And I wish us to all have beautiful wins in our lives. But, there's a beauty in savoring the small wins as well. All right, Scorpio. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this full moon and of ourselves. And please note that this meditation and healing will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. Bye.